Good evening. And tonight I have a special live, and I'm going to talk about more about why I refuse to raise my son in the West, but not just my son, my entire family, all four of my children. And tonight here in the Philippines, it's 5 p.m. I'm going to go over a couple posts from Elon Musk in my Twitter account that kind of supports what I'm saying. And one of the posts is by Brett Pike, and I think you'll find it very interesting. And then I'm going to go over some comments from my Twitter, or not my Twitter, some comments from my TikTok account. And while I'm doing this live, there's people here filming, so you might hear, they're filming downstairs, so you might hear a little bit of, not noise, but a lot of sounds, or a little bit of sounds, okay? So let's get to this. And the reason I want to talk about this tonight is because some of my friends here in the Philippines had no idea some of the stuff was going on in America from children being indoctrinated at young ages. Forget college. We're talking about preschool, elementary school, kindergarten, then elementary school. And then, of course, the big one is the colleges that some people know about. So let's just get into this, and let me share my screen with you. All right, this is my X account, and I just started this account. Oops, there we go. Okay, hopefully you can see this. I just started this account for Raising Roots Abroad on X. So if you guys haven't followed me, I'd appreciate you doing it there. And it's Raising Roots Abroad. You could just search that, but it's my last name 66. So anyway, I want to scroll down because I just made this post. And I'm just going to make it a little bigger so you can see this. And I made this thread just a little while ago, just thinking about things. And as you can see from the picture, it says U.S. kindergarten gender identity. And in the background, you can see it says, today we learned about non-binary identities and pronouns. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Let me know, give me a sound check, you guys, in the chat, and I'll just check it in a few minutes. And then on the other side, it's Philippine first grade, ABC 1, 2, 3, respect. So they're learning more about that in the Philippines, at least in the province. So the start of my thread, U.S. kindergartners learn non-binary and pronouns. My first grader in Philippines. ABC's math, respect teachers. Why confuse kids before puberty? All right, and then the next part, books like I Am Jazz in elementary, libs push trans narratives. That's in America. In the Philippines, it's more about uniforms, haircuts that are enforced, no drama, kids play, not protest, sanity wins, or maybe we'll say common sense. And then I put woke fail. And the last part of this thread is parents flee U.S. schools, enrollment's down 10% post 2020, really post, like right around COVID, right before that. And we're staying in the Philippines because there's strong families, no identity crisis. And then I have video breakdown, so if people want to go to my channel, they can watch that. Okay, I'm posting a lot on X now, if you guys want to follow that. So let's stop sharing here. and I want to go to Elon Musk. Let me check the comments, the chat here. Hey, Therese, good afternoon. Therese, I want to say thanks for checking on me, actually. Hey, Mom, look what it's got this in there now. That's so cool. This is how it puts it in now. You see that green on the side? I love that. As we get more chats going, wow, that's so cool. That looks so cool. Okay, so Therese, thank you for checking on me on Facebook. Appreciate that. Therese checked on me in Canaleon, Mount Canaleon, which is very close to us. You can see it from our back window. It's very close. People in the Philippines probably know it's erupted, and we're fine. We get some soot, like smoke, but I know a lot of people were evacuating in Canaleon. So thank you so much for checking on me, Therese. And thank you for telling me it sounds good. Parabiology, crazy what's been going on in America. Yeah, brother. I think it's a brother. It is crazy. Good afternoon, Parabiology. This is great, man. This is so cool. This is a new thing. They're coming up like this. Hope we can keep the chat like this and get more chat going. All right, so let me share my screen and show. These posts are pretty cool to me from Elon Musk. And one of them's like a year old. The other one's just a couple months old. So let me start sharing my screen here. Okay, hope you guys can see this. I hope that shows up if you can make that come up on your screen. And then I'm over here. So anyway, this is from Elon Musk posted this in 2025 in December. So it's just over a year old, and this is from Brett Pike. It says the public school system is designed to indoctrinate children into critical race theory, gender identity or ideology, and climate ideology. And let me just play this video for you. And let me know, let me just make sure, let me stop sharing for a second. I want to make sure I share the sound. I want to make sure the sound comes on. Okay, I got the sound tab on. Let's try again. All right, I'm going to play this video for you, and then we'll talk about it. Guys.
Everyone worries about the university indoctrination that happens up here, but it is the crooked foundation of the public school system that makes university indoctrination possible. Everything in school is filtered through the Marxist lens of oppressed versus oppressors. So schools introduce gender ideology, and anyone who's against it is framed as intolerant. They introduce critical race theory, and anyone who's against it is framed as racist. The school introduces feminism, and if you go against it, you're a misogynist or part of the patriarchy. And they introduce socialism, and anyone who's against that is privileged. Now, more often than not, in fact, most of the time, this isn't happening overtly, but it's subtly embedded into curriculum. So, for example, when they teach about slavery, and they do this in elementary school, they teach that the U.S. had slavery, that people were stolen from their homes, that there was abuse, mistreatment, and we all know this. Everyone agrees that slavery was a really bad thing and there shouldn't be slavery. But they don't teach that the United States had banned slavery in 7 states when the rest of the world had only banned it in 7 countries. So in 1776, 90 to 95% of the world was actively practicing slavery. And this was the norm on every continent. And in spite of this, Thomas Jefferson tried to get slavery abolished in the original draft of the Declaration of Independence. And in 1833, England abolished slavery. The United States did in 1865, and the rest of the world followed that example. Africa, Asia. So within proper historical context, the American story is one of liberation. But the Marxist lens requires the oppressed versus the oppressors. So if you were to make these arguments in school, you would be failed, shamed in front of the class, and probably sent to the principal's office. Because this is designed to keep America divided so that we could be easily conquered. And to all the Marxists who love to tell me that I'm wrong, you really need to look up the Frankfurt School, as it expanded the ideas of Marxism, developed the oppressed versus oppressor framework, and its aim was to use race, gender, and sexuality to usher in cultural Marxism. And it started infiltrating academia in the 1960s. And the result is what you see today. And our kids and our country deserve so much better. Check out my private homeschool.
All right, so you guys see that. I mean, let me just stop sharing this one. So that's exactly what's happening in America. It's gender identity. And like I said, some of my friends here in the Philippines had no idea this was going on. And it's really, it's a Marxist attack against America's values. And people know about George Washington. Like if you ask a child, maybe in elementary school, and by the time they get into college, if you would ask them, do you know who George Washington is? Do you know who Thomas Jefferson was? Who they were? And they'll just tell you, yeah, they were white slave owners. I mean, they don't really know anything else about them because they're not teaching that to them. They're not teaching about that they're the founders of, like Thomas Jefferson, he's one of the founders of the Declaration of Independence. They don't tell any of those things. They don't tell about the good things they did during their presidency. And if you will disagree and speak up, just like he said in the video, you will be ostracized. You will be called out in front of everyone. And what that does is it keeps people silent. They're afraid. For me, I'm speaking out more. That's what my channel's about. The reasons I came to the Philippines and why I don't raise my children in America. And people are kind of focused on things like, well, don't you think the schools are better in America? Or don't you think healthcare is better in America? Don't you think that they could have a better job in America? But all of that doesn't really matter when you're being taught these false Marxist truths. And to me, when I come to the Philippines and check everything out myself, being here 16 years, I think that the school systems here in the Philippines are much better. In the province, my children go to private schools, Catholic schools, and the education is much better, the curriculum is much better. They will learn about their ABCs from a young age. They will learn to respect the teacher. They will learn the world history, the history of the Philippines. They will be proud of their nationality. They'll learn values about respect. And they're not learning how to split against each other, to hate part of the culture because of the way they look, for things that they can't help about how they were born, about privilege. I mean, it's crazy. And what he also mentioned was the whole world was advancing slavery during those times. And even in Africa, where the slaves were being shipped all over the world, that their country also, their nation of Africa, was slave owners too. And the whole world was doing that. But when they moved to abolish it all over the world, including America, all the countries followed suit because they knew it wasn't right. And of course, that was over 200 years ago. And now, I mean, time passed and everyone knows from a young age that's wrong. But this cultural identity that they do in America and they're doing in the West, it's really moving all over the globe, and they're doing it in this way to keep people fighting against each other so that they can move their agenda forward. And in the World Forum, there's a website, you can see that their agenda basically is for people to own nothing and to be happy like that. But in the meantime, people just fight against each other. Nations fight against each other. The enemy is within. So maybe when the enemy's within, the culture, the country will collapse before any outside enemy could conquer it. And that's what happened to the Romans. And if people don't wake up to what's happening, more people wake up to what's going on and realize that they're being indoctrinated, then this is something that can't be rewound. It can't be something that can be fixed unless people realize what was destroyed. And I can sit here in the Philippines after being out of that indoctrination. And for me, when I was in America, I was being indoctrinated, but I was aware of it. And I didn't want any part of it. Because what I realized was the things that are important are God, family, community, marriage, and all of those things have been targeted in the West. Every single one of those things I mentioned. And pretty much torn apart and now annihilated. That's what's happened. So the first part that has to come back has to be a swing towards God. And it's not, I'm not talking about a religious doctrine. I'm talking about a spirituality that's in the Philippines. It's a spirituality where you know the values from believing in God, and you know that you're a part of God, and that every person that you see that crosses your path, that might be your schoolmate, that might be your neighbor, just people in meeting when you are walking down the street going shopping, going on a trip or whatever, that each one of us has the same thing within us. It doesn't matter what we look like. It doesn't matter sometimes even the words we say. Sometimes we say things that upset people because our personality might be a little off, you know. But when you have that part, when you have God in the society, which is the divine presence of the universe, that's what it is. It's knowing that each person has that value within them, and each person is important, and each person holds value. And when that's forgotten, that's the first step. That's the first step of annihilation of a whole continent, is not realizing that a person next to you has the same rights as you do, and you can disagree without having to attack them, without having to destroy them. And then next is the family. So when you have God, naturally, when you meet your partner and you guys become serious, you will realize that you want to stay together for life. And even if you have many disagreements, nothing's perfect, many fights. Maybe you will, I don't know, maybe you just have terrible fights, right? But you stay together because you know that you married that person and you value the oath that you took. It means something. And here in the Philippines, they don't really give you other options. A lot of people might disagree with that, but I don't. Because if you have options to get an easy divorce, like you go up the street and just get a divorce, just hire a lawyer and get a divorce, and then you can just divide the money, or the children go to maybe the mother, or the father might be lucky and have visitations. That's the tearing down of the family. That's the start. So there's a way out, and it's easy, and then people know they have those options. So they decide, okay, I want a divorce. And when they go into their marriage like that, they will say, well, I'm going into my marriage. If it doesn't work out, I'll just get a divorce. And I heard people say that. I just heard someone say that a couple weeks ago. They said, if you're not happy with your partner, then just divorce them. It's just that easy. Instead of having integrity and dignity within yourself to know that you should work out the issues that come up. The other thing I want to bring up is there's no abortions here in the Philippines. And America celebrates millions of dollars of funding to Planned Parenthood for abortions. And the woman says it's her body, it's her choice. It's very surface level. It's not spiritual at all. It's not, there's no depth to that. And these are my opinions that not everyone's going to agree with, but I'm just talking about common sense things, you guys. And then in America, they break it down to, well, when is their life? Well, if it's a baby, it doesn't feel it. If it hasn't gone to the first trimester or something, it's not really a baby. It's not really alive. It can't feel the pain. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. That is just crazy thinking. And to me, it's very selfish, very narcissistic. It's very individualistic, and that's what the culture is in the West. And I am not telling America is bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying is it's moved away from what it was founded on. It's not like it used to be, and it started changing in the '60s. But when I was young, in the '70s and the '80s, in the '90s, it was a wonderful place still. But it's not like that anymore, and the opportunities are pretty much gone for the young people. So, you annihilate God. There's 29% of people over like the last 10 years. It used to be around 10 to 12%, but 29% of people have moved to either being agnostic or not sure, or they just don't have a belief at all. And that's a huge percentage. In the Philippines, it's 80% are Catholic. And then the next percentage down is like Christian. And then it goes to some other religions, but 80% Catholic. And it's not the dogma of the religion itself. When you live in the Philippines, you understand that it's more of a spirituality. When you wake up in the morning, the pace of life, the slowness in the province. You get coffee, you get ready, you wake up your kids for school during the week, and then you drive your children to the school, and then maybe you take a walk, maybe you and your wife take a walk, maybe you take a walk on your own, and you notice as soon as you get out of the house, even if you live in a subdivision, it's full of trees, it's full of nature. And many Filipinos where I live love to plant flowers, love to plant trees, and if they're that kind of Filipino, they're very good at it. And the whole neighborhood will be filled with trees and flowers, people saying hello, good morning. In the provinces, Visayas, where I live, in San Carlos City, it's Mayang Butag, sir, mom, and then just taking a walk. And then when you walk, you'll pass people and greeting, and then the local markets are there, and they're getting busy. And then people ride pedicabs and motor cabs. It's just a slower, beautiful pace of life. And it's definitely not for everyone, but for people like me, I didn't run away from America. I ran to a spiritual nature that has always been within me, and I fit in the Philippines. And not everything is perfect. You will watch videos on YouTube and documentaries, and they'll say the people are so wonderful, the weather is great, the trees, the ocean, but not everybody is wonderful. Not everybody wants you here. And most people are going to greet you and be kind, but your neighbors will know you if you live here for any amount of time and you're doing good things, you're not doing bad things, and they're going to want you there, and they're going to appreciate you, and you're going to appreciate them, and you're going to go to your neighbors' gatherings, you're going to go to your relatives' gatherings, all those things, and of course you're going to have disagreements. I'm married. I've been with my wife for 15 years. I've been in the Philippines for 16 years. We have many disagreements, and when you're in a multicultural, or when someone's a different culture than you, and you are going to their country, then of course you have to follow the rules there, the laws there. So I'm the one that has to acclimate to the things that go on, but my wife is also willing to acclimate to me. She knows I'm born in the West and I think different, I respond, react to things differently, but she's patient with me. And then I'm patient with her also. I have to be because she's not going to understand the deeper meaning of my English words. And I'm not going to understand many of the meanings of the Filipino words, the Bisaya that they speak. So those are, let me get to some of these comments here. Guessing Philippines, am I right? Yes, I'm in the Philippines, Bobby. Hi, I appreciate you and your take on things. Thank you, M60. Super Dane, time. It's 5:25 p.m. here. I don't know if you're saying time for, what time is it, Super Dane? But anyway, Super Dane, thank you for being a Raising Roots member. Appreciate you. I just want to give you a shout out on this live. I've given Super Dane a few shout outs on the videos, but I appreciate him. And you know what, you guys, I want to start moving towards having spaces on X, and we can do just conversations, or we can do videos, and it's like live streams. I'm doing a live stream on X. Let's see if it's gone through or not, and then I'll get to another one of Elon Musk's post. I just want to look at my profile and see if my live is here. I don't think it is. It might not work on X. Yeah. In just a minute, we'll get to Elon Musk's other post. I just want to stay with the comments for a few minutes. IDF kills children. Oh, nice tag there. Have you ever tried eating pog pog? Mom, what's pog pog? Pog pog. Is that? That's a chicken. Is that Tagalog? Pog pog? I don't know. It's a chicken dish? No, yeah, it's a chicken, but... Let me look it up real quick. Pog pog refers to leftover food. Let me share this. Yeah, like leftover food. Let's look at this together. Pog pog refers to leftover food from fast food restaurants or garbage dumps that is collected, cleaned, and recooked for consumption, primarily by extremely poor residents in Metro Manila, Philippines. The term translates from Tagalog as to shake off dirt. It is a survival mechanism, though it carries significant health risks like food poisoning. Maybe that's how I got sick before when I was eating, what was it called? They called it in Cebu, Mom? What was that one though in Cebu? But what was the other name for it? I forget. Okay, it's okay. So yeah, I don't think I tried that, right? I don't think I have. Great question. Yeah, it's clean, but that's a great question. I didn't. Great question. I love this, man. Look at the chats, how they're coming up, Mom, now. It's so badass. You see it on the left side? I love it. Hindu. Okay, let's get back to a few. Let me share. Oh, there's one more comment there I want to get to. And then we'll get to Elon Musk. Why can't I find my way here? Oh, because I'm in a big screen. Let me get rid of the big screen. Okay, it says, Super Dane, my first chats didn't come through. Oh, it's okay, Super Dane. Maybe try again. Let's see. Super Dane was talking about dangers of feminism in the Philippines. Yeah, the thing about that, Super Dane, is, or Dane, I'll just call you Dane. Hope that's right. In Metro Manila, in Manila itself, they might be having more of a movement towards more of that woke stuff, the feminism. But I'm not sure because I'm in the province. But I'm talking about the wokeness, just the antiquated culture that's in the West that that children are learning from a young age. And when I went to college, I was also being indoctrinated into that a long time ago. But it's getting worse and worse. That's what I'm talking about. But you were talking about the dangers of feminism in the Philippines, right? Yeah, that's something that could spread here to the cities, but in the province, I don't think so. And there's some Filipinos that have left comments on my TikTok channel that have attacked me from the Philippines. I mean, they're Filipinas. They're kind of in that culture from the big cities, but I think that's few and far between right now. But that being said, let's look at a couple of the comments on my TikTok. Let's go to Elon Musk first, the other video. And I'll get back to the comments, you guys. Let me share this screen real quick. I think you guys can see that. And let me see. Maybe I'll make myself small here. Nope, you can't see that if I do that. Let's go back to this one. Okay, so let me play this video. It's kind of about what I was just talking about.
Washington than that. The amount of indoctrination that's happening in schools and universities is, I think, far beyond what parents realize. Let me give you an example that a friend of mine told me, which his daughters go to high school in the Bay Area, and he was asking them, like, who are the first few presidents of the United States? They could name Washington, and I said, well, what do you know about him? Well, he was a slave owner. What else?
Right. Exactly.
Nothing.
Right.
I'm like, okay, maybe you should know more than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Slavery is obviously a horrific institution, but we should still know more about George Washington than that. The amount of indoctrination that's happening in schools and universities.
Okay, let me just stop that video real quick. So it was what I was talking about before. Just Elon Musk mentioned that if you're talking about George Washington, he's the first president of the United States. If you ask a person in elementary school or college, they'll just tell you basically that he was a slave owner. They won't know anything else about him. That was Elon Musk's point on that one, which is really crazy. And if you look up, let's go on. I'll share my screen in a second. And I haven't looked this up at all. But I want to share this with you. We'll just look it up together. And this is on Google. I'm just curious to see what Google says. All right, so let's check this out together. First president of the United States. Then in the Wikipedia, if you click on this, founding father, the first president of the United States, serving from 1789 to 1797 as commander of the Continental Army. Washington led Patriot forces to victory in the American Revolutionary War against the British Empire. Okay, so this tells a little bit more about him. Let's just see what else it says. I just want to see. Washington owned many slaves. He began opposing slavery near the end of his life and provided his will for the eventual intermission of his slaves. Well, that's pretty cool. So that's good that they say that. Real quick, I want to go back to Google and just scroll down. What was he best known for? I bet it's going to say chopping down a cherry tree. Nope, I'm wrong. Okay, that's good. So it's okay. It's pretty good. It's better than I thought. Okay, so let me just stop sharing this one. I want to take you guys to my Raising Roots account also on TikTok. I just want to show you some of the comments on my recent video I made. There's like 43,000 plus views, and the comments are amazing. And if you guys want to give me a follow over here, it'd be great. This is TikTok, and I'm Raising Roots Abroad over there on TikTok. And I'm just starting to share stuff over here again. But this first video right here, where it says the Philippines, the first one, 41.2 thousand. It's just a couple days old. But I want to show you guys the comments, some of the comments here. So let's just click there. I just made a live stream about this on Friday, and why do I raise David here in the Philippines instead of America? What can I expect here? And a lot of people disagree with me making the decision to come to the Philippines to raise a family in the province. Not a lot of people, but a few people. They make comments like the schools are better in America, they have more opportunities than America. It's not better in the Philippines, there's less opportunities, healthcare, schooling, like that. But I'm going to tell you what are the things that why I decided to raise my children here. They're all born in the Philippines. I'm the one that came here 16 years ago. All 4 of our children were born in the Philippines. They're all from the province. Okay, so I just made a video about it. I just made a live stream about. I wanted to share. I wish I could make these a little bigger for you. Let me see what it looks like on my. So you can see the comments. Let me just. Okay, I had to get the comments up so you can see this. And let me make it bigger here and take me off. There we go. Okay, I just want to scroll through some of these comments. There, I think that's too big. I think you guys can see them. Better raised kids here in the Philippines. Number 1, culture, family, oriented family. Sir, home is where your heart is. If you found peace here, in your gut feeling tell you to stay here, the Philippines is our home. We welcome you and your family with open hearts. Then we left Canada almost 3 years ago with our kids. We live in the province of Antique, I think that is. Philippines is not as modern as Western countries, but I am proudly say good decision. In addition, sir, so many top schools and universities in the Philippines that your children can study. That is very true. There are so many good schools here, so many good universities. Best choice. Thank you. Let's just scroll down. I mean, I have so many comments here. They say, this is what Filipinos said, they say school is better in America, but schools in the Philippines are safer than America. But the schools are not better in America, in my honest opinion, because they're teaching all that stuff that the children have to worry about, and then they're teaching identity culture. And if you have to worry, like if you're the type of person that doesn't fit in the narrative, your skin color is not the right color, like they consider you're a colonialism, white privilege, you're a privileged person in that narrative, you'll be treated different. And I don't want my kids to have to worry about any of that garbage. And then they have non-binary people coming in schools with dolls, teaching about that they're not a boy or a girl. They don't know what they are, but they want people to know about them. And I don't know, I don't want them to have to worry about that and to know that they're a boy or a girl and not have to worry about, do I have to have a sex change at a very young age? Those are the things that they have to worry about in the schools in America. They're ramming it down their throats, where kids will think that they can do things without their parents' consent. Very dangerous things. So anyway, if you guys want to follow here on TikTok, you can see, here's another comment. Being extremely wealthy isn't what truly matters in life. What's more important is having peace within yourself, a sense of contentment and genuine happiness in your heart and mind. When you have those, you already have enough to live well, no matter where you are or where you choose to call home. This is true. But for a person that's addicted into an indoctrinated culture, you will sink farther down the rabbit hole and you won't be able to defeat or overcome many of those addictions that are being rammed down your throats. Because it's okay to have it's seen as healthy to have a lot of partners in America. It's seen as healthy to demonstrate against your government, to be part of the woke culture in America. And if people don't agree with you, there's something called free speech, but it doesn't exist. If you ever walk on to a university in America and you think there's free speech, and you're a person that has conservative views, like you believe in family, you believe in God, you believe that there's a man and woman, and that's who should be married, and you make those, you voice those opinions, just watch what happens with the free speech. I guarantee you'll be attacked, and you'll be kicked off that campus. So anyway, let me escape this here. And I want to also show you, we just watched that one. Okay, so it's just Raising Roots over here on TikTok. And these links are on my main page on YouTube, if you guys want to join there. Let me get back to the comments here and stop sharing. All right, so we're here, and we have a pretty big live stream going here. This is our biggest live stream. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get to the comments here. Back to the comments. All right, so this is by the Pivot Point. I studied at BYU, Idaho in 2021. It's a university owned by the LDS, Latter-day Saints, yes, church. Yet I noticed some staff members held different views on topics like gender issues. Yes, isn't that scary? Because a lot of the churches, be it LDS or whatever, a lot of those churches they receive federal funding or funding from private entities. So some of those people will hold the views of the so-called, they call it woke, right? The cancel culture, those kind of things. I don't know what the correct name is anymore. But you'll find those people in the churches, the leaders of the churches will be pushing those agendas too. And the one thing that I really don't like about the churches in the West is many of the churches, being conservative and such, they still push marriage in the West. And I'll tell you something. If you have common sense, you absolutely be crazy to get married in the West. You'd be absolutely crazy, because even if you meet someone in the church, say you're Catholic, like I went to a Catholic church, right? And if I met someone there and we got in a serious relationship, she's still going to have the agenda of, especially if she went to college, she's going to have a lot of that identity culture in her mind already, and she's already thinking a lot of the time, even if she follows a certain religion, that divorce is definitely in the cards. And not only that, even she will confess that she's religious. In the West, a lot of the women, I'm not telling everyone's doing this, but a lot of the women, the younger generation, they'll just cheat on you. They have many options. They can just get on their smartphone and use one of the apps and just confess they're religious on the outside, but they have a social media account and they're doing many crazy things there in America. You're absolutely crazy to get married in the West. You're going to probably end up losing everything. And that I'm not saying everyone's going to end up like that, but the majority are. I'm just being honest about it. I'm an older man speaking his truth and just telling you through experience, through common sense, what's happening in the West and what's being rammed down people's throats. You'd be absolutely crazy. That's why a lot of people like myself and a lot of people you'll see in the chats here, they're coming to the Philippines. They're running to the Philippines or other places, other countries, because they're tired. They're running from Europe. They're running from the West itself. And when I say the West, I'm talking about countries like United States, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand. I'm talking about countries like that. Europe, I'm talking about Spain, France, Italy, Germany, a lot of those countries, but not all of them. Some of them have very strong presidents. Poland has a very strong president. I believe Italy has a very strong president. And when I say strong, I'm talking about common sense values. Okay? So let's get back to the comments here. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. The pivot point said that he said at BYU and he noticed some of the staff members at the university itself, they held different views, even though they were probably following LDS. Yeah, it's everywhere, man. Super Dane. Provincial girls are often having to work temporarily or permanently in the big cities. They bring that culture back to the provinces. We have seen it, some of the young girls is there, and it's sad. Mom, look at what Dane said here. This is really a good comment. Listen to what he said, Mom. Baby, let mommy answer this one, what she thinks. My wife is one of those girls also before, right here. Let's put this up on the screen. Let's put this up on the screen. Provincial girls. Do you find that? Do you find that happening? Like the girls that leave the provinces, go to the big cities, work for a number of years, then come back with the different change mindset that they learned in the big cities. Do you see that or not so much? Do you understand what he's saying? He's saying like the Americanized mindset of the liberal mindset. He's saying the province girl will go to the big cities. They'll work there for a number of years, come back to the province, have that change mindset. Do you understand or you don't understand? My wife said not so much, but some. She's seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. A few people. They're spending their day on TikTok and dancing, and then letting their opinions be known. And it's changed, but not very much where we live here in the province. But I've seen that with a few of them. But you know what I noticed that happens is they'll have a few friends, and of course their family. But a lot of people will talk about them. They'll have, like they say in the province, they'll have no head. A lot of people that don't have those views will talk about them, like chismoso. I noticed that, but I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I can't judge people for that. But to me, I think it's sad too. Yeah, it's just behavior. But if they actually forget if they move so much towards that progressive westernized view, and you can't just say westernized anymore. It's in Europe, it's all over the place. But that kind of view, it's sad. But if they remember their roots of how they were raised,
just like my, relatives, they nobody see that nobody just America, so that's me.
They will adapt the culture of America, you're saying? Though a lot of those people won't come back to the province, Mom. They won't come back to live. They might come back to visit.
Yeah, I know.
But do you see people moving to the province back after they worked in a big city, or even we'll say America, right? Do you see them moving back, and then you don't see it so much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not here. But I hear you, Dane, on that. Yeah, let's just hope it goes at a slow pace with that, right? What do the Filipinos think about that? What do the Filipinos say about that? Okay, so that's a really good question. I can't really answer that either. I can just say what I noticed. It's not so much, but I agree with you. Sad. How'd you pick the Philippines? Prophet Scalp King 1. How'd you pick the Philippines? It's down there. It's the last one. How'd you pick the Philippines? Better than Thailand and Vietnam? Question mark. I haven't been to Thailand and Vietnam, so I can't say, but my wife and I were talking about one day going to like Cambodia or Vietnam to visit. I have no inclination to go to Thailand at all. But I think that Vietnam has its own culture, just like the Philippines does, and I don't think I'd see it as better or worse. It would just be Vietnam, and I'd be in Vietnam, visiting Vietnam. For me, I'm so much in love with the Philippines because it's kind of where I got saved. And once you get saved, like where you fell so hard and then found yourself, just, on the videos that I make, you can kind of see that. I'm just so grateful to the Philippines, even though things are far from perfect. I don't agree with a lot of things in the Philippines, and even on the child rearing, 100%, I don't agree with things. But I love most of it, and it's enough. And when I fell, the important things is the people in my life were so loyal to me, and I watched them. They weren't necessarily teaching me by voicing with words, but just by demonstrating how they lived their life. And I'm so grateful for that because I changed so much, and I didn't lose everything that I learned in the West. I brought some of the positive things over here, but I lost a lot, and I incorporated a lot of the Philippines values into my value system, and it's more of a spiritual awakening. To be joyful, even when you're fighting with your wife, when things are going well and when they're not going well, just to be joyful and grateful, and to not forget those things, and to stay together no matter what. If you break the house, then be fixing it the next day with the family in a happy manner, right? That's just what I say. If just being grateful to have the 4 children, to be a father, to have the honor of taking them to school every day, to being able to learn from them and to teach them, hopefully what a good father is. Teach them the good habits I have, and then when they see the bad ones, they'll just mostly see the good things. This is my daughter Rain. Liana, but she goes by Rain. Liana. Okay. So, but how did I pick the Philippines? To get to your question on that, so I wouldn't think it's better. I would maybe want to visit Vietnam or Cambodia. My wife's kind of interested too, to just check it out, take a trip. But how did I pick it? I picked it because from the get-go, I didn't fit in America. My values and my own ethics of, even though I was addicted to a lot of things, I was addicted to Stick with us, you guys. Restart, start. Restart it, default. Okay, it restarted. Mom, can you look and see what's happening on? I'm reloading, so I don't know. Okay, I think I fixed it. Is it? Okay, hopefully you guys are still around. I think I fixed it. Looks like a bunch of people got bumped from the chat. So anyway, I picked the Philippines because it had the same values that I hold dear. And I was able to cleanse myself from any of my addictions. Yeah, addictions, just being a foreigner. What, Mom? What's my wife's asking, what's your addictions? You know me, Mom. I wasn't doing things in the best way when I first came here. I don't have a problem admitting that. A lot of bad things. I think I was chasing women when I first came here. Was I? No, I wasn't really, yeah. Just my first relationship didn't work out. Looks like we got people back. If you are lost, Mom, can you hear me? Can you turn up the sound to make sure? Because we had a technical difficulty just a few minutes ago. But the Philippines holds the same values. You can hear me okay? Okay. Holds the same values. God, family, culture here with the just families. God's number one. Family's number one. Community's number one. It's more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Someone help me in the chat. In America, it's more individualistic. I think Philippines is collective. That's the word I'm looking for. I started to look it up and I just remembered. Collective culture in the Philippines. So that's why I picked it. And it was over the 16 years, I can't say it's been an easy road. I had to relearn many things in my life, and I'm not recommending that people fall like I did and lose everything through my bad choices. But since I did that, it forced me to look at what I was doing and look at myself in the mirror and change my imagery. And when I say imagery, when I pray to God, when I pray or when I talk to people, God give us the gift of imagery, right? Everything we see when you mention someone like a famous person, you get an image in your mind. Like if someone says Brad Pitt, you get an image of a handsome Brad Pitt, right? If someone says Angelina Jolie, I'm aging myself, right? You'll get a picture of a beautiful Angelina Jolie, and you might get an image of some of the movies she did. That's the gift that God gave each one of us. So my imagery needed to change. So that the imagery was able to change, and then the words I spoke and my thoughts over time changed so much. And my main focus became my wife, my family, and not myself. So that's the bottom line. That's why I chose Philippines, because right on script with how I wanted to live my life. Okay, so what else we got? Yeah, it's just a rat race over there. Folks are trying to get out of the matrix. Prophet Scalp King once said, yeah, it's just a rat race over there. People are trying to get out of the matrix. Hey, my friend, it's, you know what? I want you to know this, that I realized like last week, and I mentioned on the live stream, that it's not getting out of the matrix. It's realizing you are the matrix. That's what the huge awakening is. You are the matrix pushed out into your physical world. Just think about that, okay? Awakening to that. Okay, next one, truth. 04290. Aren't there terror training camps in the Philippines? I think in some parts of unsafe places in the Philippines. Mom, what are those unsafe places? Like maybe Mindanao? Some parts of Mindanao. Terror training camps. Like, yeah, where Mindanao, right? Like, but where exactly? Because there's a lot of good parts of Mindanao. What? Here, I will tell. Here, I will answer real quick.
What are the danger? Wait, Mom. What are the danger terror? Um, in the Philippines that foreigners need to, probably Filipinos too, need to stay clear of? Where are they in the Philippines? I'll share my screen in a second. That's a great question. Okay, so we're going to give you an answer to that since you asked. So let me share my screen. We're going to Sharon again, you guys. All right, let me just see if I can put myself in here for a second. Okay, you can see me with all the writing there, but it doesn't come out so good. Let's do it. There we go. Okay. So, according to Google AI overview, foreigners should avoid, and probably a lot of Filipinos, if they're not that type of person, right? Should also avoid all travel to Solo Archipelago, Archipelago, and Western Central Mindanao. Yeah, there's a lot of good places in Mindanao. So, Western Central, I think Southern Mindanao is a very good place, but the Western Central Mindanao in the Philippines, due to high risk of terrorism, kidnapping for ransom, and civil unrest. Key areas to avoid include Sulo Province, Basilan, Tawi, Zamboanga, yes, definitely, Peninsula, and Merawi City. Yeah, Merawi, definitely. These regions have historical served as bases for extreme groups like Abu Sayyaf. And then what else does it say here? Let's scroll down. Let me open this up here. Show more while we're at it. High risk. Solo, okay, so and Solo C includes Jolo, but what? Jolo, what? Holo. Oh, like Spanish, Holo? Basilan and Tawi, is that right? Considered the most dangerous region due to kidnapping and militant activity. Central and Western Mindanao areas, Mom, please. Areas specifically cited include the Zimbabwe Peninsula, Maguindanao. How do you say that, Mom? Maguindanao, and North Cotabato. Marawi City, site of intense 2017 conflict and ongoing security concerns. Okay, we'll end it there. So there you go. That is the answer. What else we got here? Southwestern Isle of Mindanao. Yes. Dane. Thank you, Dane. Definitely. Is your son Chinese, sir? No. My son's half me and half my wife, so half Filipino. But he's Filipino citizen only at this point. So he's half whatever I am, and then half Filipino. But you know, Filipino has a lot of Chinese, Spanish, etc. So you guys are dumb. I'm Chinese and my mom unalived my dad already. Wow. It says you guys are dumb. I'm Chinese and my mom unalived my dad already. Okay, we'll pass that comment. Not sure what that means. I'm actually trapped here by her because she's insane now, but I don't want another hierarchical culture. Hierarchy. Okay, so I don't know what Cherry's talking about. Maybe someone can point out what she's talking about or something. My grandparents were Chinese from Guangzhou. It's too bad I ended up living in Indonesia, face blue smiling. My grandparents were Chinese from Guangzhou. It's too bad I ended up living in Indonesia. Wow, I'm sorry you're there and it sounds like you're not happy there. Number 19, real. So I hope things get better for you. Okay, so I had a surprise for you guys today. Maybe we should do my surprise, Mom. Let me pull this up. Had a game I wanted to play with you guys, but I got to go to my history because I shut it down. It's called City Guesser, and let me share my screen. It's kind of cool, kind of fun. Bye, Mom. You're going to cook rice? Okay. Okay, let me share my screen. Let's play a game, you guys. Okay, so you guys can follow my screen on this and see what you guys think. Let me give you the link to this site, actually. And you got to search all cities or more cities. Show all cities, like more countries, because the Philippines you can't find unless you do that on this site. So let me drop this in the chat real quick. If you guys want to join me, you can, or you could, this is the site. It's free. You don't got to pay anything. And I'm not advertising or referring to anyone. I just want to play a game, and I found this and thought it was pretty cool. Okay? So follow me, you guys. We're going to go to the Philippines. And this one doesn't have a timer, this specific game. So, this is in the Philippines.
Hi, Mom.
So, I'm going to look in the chat and see where the most guesses are coming from. So you guys got to watch this and try to figure out exactly where this is in the Philippines and give me the name, and then we'll start guessing. It's kind of a cool game, you guys. Does anybody know? And the farther we go along, we might actually see the city name on one of these restaurants or something. Is this Makati, do you think? Is this BGC? Is this Manila City somewhere else? Is this Tarlac? Is this Tarlac? Where is it? Number 19 said China's much better place. In 90s, like a different place clearly. Kind of 90s, like a shithole. Yeah. I follow someone from China. I'm going to start, I might share some of his stuff. Maybe on the next live stream. He talks about life there now. And what he goes through. It's amazing. Okay, you guys, guess where this is, and I'll start guessing. Somewhere in the Philippines. Anybody, give me a guess, or I'm going to guess. You guys think this is cool? Where is this in the Philippines, you guys? Is this BGC? Oh, I just saw. Let's play that back. Hold on. I just saw something. Let me go back. I can't go back. Okay, I'm going to start guessing. This is start guessing, and then you say where it is, and is it somewhere in Manila, and I'm coming closer. This Makati or whatever. You guys tell me where this is. Is this Makati? Is this BGC? Monaco Studio? Tell me in the chat, guys. This is Cape Echo. Why did you choose? Kate said, why did you choose Eastwood City, Quezon City? Okay, Greece. Yes, Quezon City, Eastwood. I'm going to trust you. We'll get a point if we're close. I'll answer that in a few minutes, okay? Okay, so let me take a guess. Quezon City. Go to Luzon. Go to Luzon. Okay, here, Mom. Go to Luzon. Please go to Luzon. I lost it. Okay, massive failure. Luzon. Where's Luzon? My wife don't know you guys. You're a prophet's lady. We went to Manila. Where's Luzon? Is Luzon higher than? Oh, that'll be a guess. I can go closer. Okay, we're just going to click in here and see how far away we are. Here it is. Okay, sorry. See, we're learning. Okay, keys on. Let's just click on that and see how close. Wow. Therese really knows. Holy, was we splitting off the hill. It's on. I bet you did you look that up on Google search or something? Okay, let's go another one. Let's do one more before we're done, you guys, for today. I figured out you have to go close. Where is this? This is kind of addictive, you guys. I was playing this earlier for the world and I couldn't get out of it. Okay, this is the mall somewhere. This beaches. Where is it? Look in the chat. Whoa, what happened? The longer we go, probably we're gonna speed. Does anybody know? Congratulations, Therese, you really got it. Hey, where is this place, you guys? Tell me where it is. Take your best. Or this is, you guys do a screenshot. Do a screenshot and look on Google. They'll tell you where it is. If you can't guess. This is the last one, then we'll end the stream. PGC and yes, Therese. I think you're right. Okay. Let's go there real quick. Okay, let me go there. BTC, I agree. BGC, where are you? Right there, closer. Should speed here.
Hindi dun sa... Madami pa. Anong pala yun? Ay, wait lang na.
There it is. Okay, we'll just guess. Unofficial, this is the area. No closer. Good job again, Therese. We got 2 points for that. That's good. Okay. So you guys ever want to do this one? You're just going to go to virtualvacations.us in the maps. It's City Guesser, but this is free. And if you go multiplayer, it didn't work for me today. Maybe we'll try it next time because we can make our own room and then play on our own. And then you guys could just go in there and do it. We can all do it together. So maybe we'll do that next time. All right, let me stop sharing. Therese guessed this again. So Therese, 2-0. Good job, Therese. Okay, last comment here from Dane. My wife is from Palompon, Leyte. Would never choose to live in central Luzon. We are country folk. Yeah. Leyte is very flood prone too, I think. That area. So is Palompon, Leyte, is that like a big city there? That's the province, right, where your wife's from? You guys are in Leyte area? Is that where you guys are going to move to? Dane, is that where you're going to? I think Palompon, Leyte is a province. I'm not sure though. We would never choose to live in central Luzon. Yeah. Maybe it's too busy there for you. But where you are, I think there's floods. Yeah, small town. Small town. All right, Dane. Thank you, buddy. All right, you guys. So what we covered today was I talked about why I chose the Philippines to raise my son, my entire family, why I would never go back to America, and why I wouldn't want my children to go to school in America and just to stay in the province life. And I gave you guys some data from my ex account, from also other people's ex account, including Elon Musk. And then I shared my ex account and my Twitter account and showed some comments there. So you guys, if you want to, she's asking for milk. If you want to follow me besides YouTube, you can follow me on X and also TikTok if you want. The links are in basically my bio on YouTube, my about page or whatever you call it. So Dane said we have property there, but are looking in PPC Palawan. PPC Palawan. We have property there, but looking at PPC Palawan. Let me look that up. And then we played a game at the end, which was pretty fun. PPC Palawan. So I think that's Porto Prince City. Yeah, PPC is Puerto Princesa, yeah, city. The capital. Okay, baby, mommy's getting you milk. And we also talked about the danger places to stay away from. Okay, let me just share this real quick before we go. This is where Dane, he's a member of our channel. If you guys want to join the memberships, they're very inexpensive, and basically I give you shout outs. And also I'm going to be opening groups on X, like private groups on X, that if you want to do that, that's probably going to be upcoming. I'll probably add that. But let me share my screen for this place. Said I was going to end it, but we want to check out Dane's. Port-au-Prince, PPC, the capital of Palawan, is premier eco-tourism destination in the Philippines. Famous for the UNESCO listed underground river known as the City in a Forest. Wow, that sounds really nice. It offers pristine beaches, diverse marine life, and lush jungles. Top attractions include Honda Bay, Baker's Hill, and Iwang Hig, I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry, Firefly Watching. Wow. Interesting. I wish you the best there. Dane, that sounds great. Starfish Island, Lulu Island, Cowrie Island, Baker's Hill, Mitros Ranch, Crocodile Farm. I'm scared of that. I'm scared of the Crocodile Farm, Dane. And the Immaculate Conception Cathedral. Wow, I'd like to see that cathedral. Situated on the western provincial island of Palawan, is considered the westernmost city in the Philippines. Wow. Best time to visit the dry scene. So this is the best time right now, December to May. But it's a year-round destination. Wow, great. Dane, I wish you the best with that. Sounds fantastic. Okay, got to go back to the chat, you guys. I got to see what you're saying here. Cherry said, is there more natural looking places? Because I don't like that. Okay, that's fine. Who's next? The pivot point. My mom is American and my dad is Filipino. And we live in Valencia, Negros Oriental. My mom is American and my dad is Filipino. We live in Valencia, Negros Oriental. They call it the Little Baguio of the South. Wow. I love the place. That's awesome, man. So my mom American dad, my dad is Filipino. Wow, that's great. We live in Valencia, Negros Oriental. Sweet, I checked it out. Looks up. My vibes pivot. Which place you like, Cherry? My mom, American, and my dad, we live in Valencia, Negros Oriental. Let's look at that. And then I'll share my screen. Give me a second. Valencia, Negros Oriental. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to check out the Pivot Points place. And that's interesting. Your mom is the American. And your dad's a Filipino. I don't hear that a lot. That's awesome. Okay, let's share this. Make it bigger. Valencia, known as Little Baguio of Negros Oriental, is first-class municipality located 9 kilometers west of Dumaguete City. Wow. Famous as the cleanest and greenest town in the province. 2007, 2017. Voted the cleanest and greenest. Looks like 2 times. So about every 10 years. So you guys might be due in 2027 for that prestigious cleanest and greenest. It features a cool highland climate, popular natural wonders like Kasaruro Falls. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing these. And Bogalagbato Falls, relaxing hot springs. Let's look up the images for that. We probably should have done that for Dane too. I apologize. Let's look up. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. That's from Wikipedia. Let's look up a few of these. Let's share this and just see. This is one place there. I'm sorry, Dan. I should have done this for you. It's very slow when I'm sharing my screen. Let me stop sharing for a second, and we'll let this come up. Too slow, you guys, not coming up. So I guess just look at some places there. It looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Looks like they have waterfalls. Oh, I got to share this. Okay, let me share this. This is easier to share. Okay, I'm going to share this part. This is beautiful. Okay, I'm going to share this one. This looks insane. Valencia Oriental for a day, travel. Let's get rid of this. Wow. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, Mom. Look at the waterfalls here. That's Valencia. Negros Oriental, yeah. Beautiful. Look, it's huge. Look at that person. Yeah, it's far from us. Unbelievable. Adults only 100 pesos, it's telling. Children 10 years and below, 50 pesos. Amazing. Okay, you guys. I'm going to be here forever. So that's beautiful. Yeah. Oh, Cherry likes the Valencia. Okay. So you guys, thank you so much for the live stream today. This was a fantastic live stream. We had a lot more people than normal. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Look out for my next video this coming up week. It's Sunday now, and I'll probably have the video out before Thursday or the latest Thursday. I want to do 2 this week, so I will have it out this week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, okay? So thank you so much. God bless you. And if you have family, God bless you and your family. And we'll say bye for now. See you on the next one. Caroline, you want to say bye? You want to say bye?